Returns probably can't stay as high as they have
further
been the last
assets
few
bought
years.
at the right time.
Not only various stable
Right.
trusts, things that are controlled. The biggest thing here is to find the right people.
A very big deal announced today. I'll start with a very general question for you, Robert, and a very general question, probably the most important. Why Donaldsons?
Well, a number of reasons for that. First of all, they have a very high reputation in a number of areas, and retail-dominated offering, but it isn't just the retail itself. There's also a big development consultancy and planning and local authority stream of income, as well as other aspects in terms of investment and general practice. But the main feature of Donaldsons for us is the retail offering, combined with development consultancy, planning, compulsory purchase that are linked into those processes. And that's something which DTZ, whilst we have very good people, we are very short on them. We have very good retail investment people. And the combination of those together moves us, which is what we want to do, into the Premier League now in all areas of business, in offices, logistics, industrial, investment, and now into retail. And that's been one of our business objectives. We want to be in top 3 markets, our chosen markets, wherever we're going to be. And we want to be a major player in retail, not just in the United Kingdom, but overseas as well. And the icing on the cake for us, of course, is the European dimension, which Donaldsons brings to the table, with in excess of 150, nearly 200 shopping centres around Europe, which is important to us as well.
You mentioned the retail, but in terms of overlap with Donaldsons, are we going to see a fair bit of culling within either DTZ or Donaldsons itself with those businesses that are reasonably similar?
No, one of the great joys of this, and I think it's a very unusual feature of this type of transaction, which is very large for us. It's from the DTZ perspective, it's on the same plane as we were when we acquired Bernard Thorpe in 1993. And this time, one of the attractions, real attractions for us, isn't just the fact that they've got things that we need, which are really elite Premier League type offerings. It's the fact actually there's very, very little overlap indeed. And I can assure you there's no redundancy program at all. It's about melding teams together. We are short of good quality people in pretty well every area of our business, and getting additional firepower into our operations, whether it's in office leasing or investment in the regions or whatever it is absolutely crucial to us anyway. So that's one of the great joys of it, which makes me feel extra confident about its success as a merger.
Martyn, if I was a member of staff at Donaldsons, should I be worried about my job?
I mean, it's as Robert said, a very close fit, a very neat fit in terms of complementarity, very little overlap in terms of skills. In London, it fits like a glove because of the different services. In the regional offices, it's very interesting because we do have overlap of services, but our view of the regional office market is, if you like, in regional offices, it's all about the market share you have in that particular town or city. Manchester, Birmingham, Bristol, Leeds, Edinburgh, Glasgow, wherever it might be. And to put the two firms together, albeit in some areas it's the same similar service, office leasing for example, puts you up a notch in terms of your market share in that particular city, and that's what matters. You know, if you are the strongest leasing agent in Bristol, as we are together, long short, that's what really matters, and that's been very exciting. So no, the answer to your question is we don't believe there will be any serious job losses. It's silly of me to say there will be none because it's impossible to tell, but that doesn't look like the way it's going to be.
Robert, in terms of bringing Donaldsons into the fold, it's been referred to as an earnings neutral deal up until the end of the current financial year. Can you quantify its impact from then on?
Yes, first of all, earnings neutral. We have quite significant integration costs to go through and process to undertake, and that is going to make it more difficult to increase earnings day one, notwithstanding the fact that both our individual forecasts of performance of our businesses are positive. So there are going to be some costs in the first instance of property costs and all sorts of other things to deal with. But this isn't about. This synergy process is not built on the idea which Martyn's just talked about, and you've asked the question of, how much cost can we take out of the business? That is not what's driving this. This is talking about how much we can leverage each other to add more income to the top and, of course, bottom lines going forward, so that our capital markets teams can really leverage off the the client base that and property base that Donaldsons brings to the table, for example, would be the quickest way of analysing. So, all of us have been through, the senior guys have been through this and worked out the joint plan and look at where else we can earn money together, where 1 and 1 equals 3 or more. And that's what the driving force for this transactions is. The synergies on the revenue side, not on the cost side.
You've said that you want DTZ to become a global player. What are you shopping around for now? You've obviously filled a large gap with Donaldsons in terms of its retail offering.
Well, I mean, it's a very difficult question for me to answer as a public company. These things are not in the public domain. We went out and created or acquired and have subsequently built on a hospitality team, because that used to be a big gap in our offering. So hospitality in every American sense of the word, hotels and so forth, has been something which DTZ has not majored on at all, and that we have started with in January this year. They're overwhelmed by the enthusiasm with which they've been embraced by the existing DTZ operations and are fully operational and highly profitable part of our business. That still needs to be built on, clearly. The other areas are capital markets offering, which is through financial services and corporate finance, which is geared towards financial structurings, capital raising, that's capital raising, and then there are other aspects of that, fund creation and so forth. And the demand for that has been and is fantastic. And it isn't just actually in continental Europe or in the UK, it's now even more so focused in Asia.
Is DTZ equipped to handle another transaction of the size that you've just gone through with Donaldsons in the foreseeable future?
Yes, we could do it if we wanted to do it, and part of the reason is we've tripled the size of our corporate development team in the last 2 years. Obviously, they've been heavily devoted to this acquisition and merger of Donaldsons and DTZ, and that is a very ongoing commitment, because it's got a fully fledged integration team that is going to drive forward over the next 12 months. But that is just one team. There's another team that is not engaged directly on the UK at the present moment. So, yeah, we've got the resources to deal with it.